All right, many to many. So here's an example of a many-to-many relationship, right, where we have students and sections being enrolled, right, where you can have one student enrolled in many sections and one section having many students enrolled in that one section. Now this could be represented in UML in a couple ways, right? Either as an association class, like we're doing here, and this is more or less the more modern way. If if the enrollment has fields that capture or that describe the relationship between the student and the section, then typically we would capture that as an association class, right? One many to many, and then a dotted line, and you would have fields here in the enrollment class, such as saying, what grade you got, right, while you enroll there, any reviews that the student gave for that particular enrollment. So you would have additional information about the association between one student in a particular section. Make sense? Yes.
Why wouldn't the faculty-course relationship be
The faculty, yeah, it could be many to many, sure, yeah. Yeah, especially if multiple faculty are authoring. Well, this is an author, right? It could be that many faculty are authoring the same course, right? And one course might be author of many faculties. Yeah. This one's specifically saying that this one faculty alone is the single author of that course. Yeah, right. So here we're capturing as an association class. We could have instead had two one-to-many relationships, right, where you would have a one-to-many from student to enrollment and a one-to-many from section to enrollment. That would be an alternative, right? Which typically that would if enrollment had no additional fields, that only capture two foreign keys saying that student is enrolled in that section and that's it. Right? Typically we would capture it that way. As two one-to-manys as opposed to one many-to-many and then the association. But in our case, the enrollment has additional fields, right, specifying the more information about that particular association. So to do that, to implement that, here there's two ways, right? We can start from one of the we can start from either way. We can start from the section down to the student, or from the student going to the section. Here we've started from the section. We're saying that we are participating in a many-to-many, and we have all the students enrolled in that section as a list, right? So from the section's point of view, I can see all the students enrolled in that particular section. And I should be able to go from the other side, from the student's point of view, and see all the sections that student's enrolled in. Two lists, right? So presumably, in the student has the same field, right, pointing to this section, saying the enrolled sections, right? And on the other side, the student will have a map by enrolled students, right, kind of pointing to each other. Now, don't be scared here. On both sides, you have a many-to-many, okay? But on either side, either on the section or the student, somewhere we need to configure the actual table, right, that is going to have the foreign keys that point to the student and the section. Somebody has to store that relationship, right? Here, and the way you do that is to, well, there's two ways. One of them is using the @join table. The @join table, which you can say create a brand new table called enrollment. Okay, and that enrollment table should have two fields. Right? One field should point to this class student, and the other field should point to the other table, which is section. Okay? We can configure the names of those foreign keys. They will be foreign keys. And the names are going to be student ID, there it is, name student ID, and the other name is going to be section ID, right, referencing the ID fields of those other tables. Okay. Also notice I'm putting JSON ignore again, otherwise you go into an infinite loop. Yes.
How does it figure out which table is it calling from? Like student ID has to be from the student.
Yeah. So right. So the first one the join columns refers to this class, which is student wherever you are, and the inverse refers to the other class.
The inverse join column will refer
I'm sorry?
the inverse join columns will refer
To sections, because the section says who's mapping to it. Right, the section says I'm being mapped by enrolled sections. Yeah. We could have done the other way around. We could have said instead of this join table declaring it here, we could have declared instead on the section side, right? We could have declared it here, right? But map by would now live in the student. Okay, and also the name of the table would be the same, enrollment, but then the first join would be referencing the section ID, right? And the inverse would be the student ID, right? So you have to be consistent. If you put it here or you put it over there. Right? So this one is actually implementing just a plain old mapping table, right? Saying that student is in that section. That's it, right? So two foreign keys pointing to the primary keys of the student and the primary key of the section, right? So there it is. It's just a plain old mapping key with two foreign keys back to the section and the student. Okay. This is actually not an association. This is not an association. So this is not quite this. Not quite this, right? Because it doesn't have additional fields. It's not saying that enrollment has, the grade you got or any reviews for that section and whatnot. To implement a true association, the way it would be implemented is that from the section you would have a one-to-many to students. Sorry. You would have a separate class and a completely different class called enrollments, right? And the enrollment would be participating in two one-to-many relationships. It would go from section one-to-many enrollment, and from student you would have another one-to-many to enrollment, right? And you would treat them in separate ways. You're just like you would do a find all. You can look at from the student's point of view, find all the students. Right, would find all the students in that section, or from the student's point of view, says find all the enrollments, which has all the sections in that enrollment, right? So this is an actual mapping table, not an association.